Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to be working on the pole position again. I don't remember what part we're on. I'll put it in the description. We've been doing a bunch of different things to it today. No rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. I just have a lot to get done because I really want to get it finished up. The wiring harness is cleaned. It's sitting down in here. So we need to reroute that in the cabinet. I want to get the monitor. Well, I'm probably not going to put the monitor in the cabinet yet because I like to usually test the monitor before I install it into the cabinet because it makes it easier to adjust as well. If I have it setting either on the ground or a stool or something like that, I can adjust the monitor a lot nicer than when it's in place. So we got to put the wiring harness back in, mount the power brick. I need to do a little work on the shifter. That part for the shifter, the bezel that covers it, we glued it on the last video, I think it was. So we need to put that back together. Need to get the cage in here for the board, the metal cage. I got to do a little work to the board, and also I need to do a sense wire modification to the power supplies so that it won't start making the voltages go up and possibly fry something on the board. So what I want to do first is take this. I had glued this on nice and solid. That glue is really, really strong. I want to rough this up with some 180 grit. And then we're just going to apply a little bit of body filler to these couple areas. And then we're just going to spray paint this satin black. But gotta get it roughed up nice. Then we can put a little bit of filler on it, let it dry, we'll sand it again. This is just 180 grit, I don't know if I said that. Pac-Man and the pinball are leaving here probably in about a half an hour. He's on his way here to grab that. I did have some people comment on the Pac-Man cabinet. One guy in particular on Facebook thought it would be cool to tell me how I'm pretty much an idiot for putting vinyl artwork on the cabinet rather than painting stencils on the cabinet. And what people don't understand is that is not my game. It is not my decision. You know what I mean? I don't talk people out of things. If that's what they want, that's what they get. I've worked for myself my whole life. I don't have a boss. I don't have a job to go to every day that somebody tells me what to do. So when you're your own person, you work for yourself, you have to make money. So you got to do what people want you to do. If somebody wants me to go to their house and paint the whole inside of their house black, is it a dumb idea? Yeah, probably. Would I say that to them? No, because that's what I'm getting paid to do. So I don't know why some people just get so bent out of shape about something that is pretty dumb if you think about it, because me applying vinyl on that Pac-Man cabinet doesn't hurt the cabinet one bit. So what's the big deal? You peel it off and you paint stencils on it if you want to in the future. He just went on and on about how I shouldn't make videos just to make videos, and I'm teaching people how to do things the wrong way, and yeah, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Can't make everybody happy, you know. But I just got to do what I got to do. And just like when later on today, I'm going to start working on these Stargate cabinets, both of them at the same time. I'm doing both at the same time. One of them is going in my basement, and that one is going to be an original Stargate. I have all the original parts for it. I do have a new wiring harness for it. I had it made, but everything else is original. All the boards, I believe. Hopefully I have the metal plate for the board. I think I do, for the boards to fit on, but I don't remember. But anyways, on those, they are right here. We're gonna put some filler on that in a second. These are the two cabinets here. This one is mine. And this one right here is my buddy's. This one is getting turned into a Tetris. So I'm sure people are going to be bitching and complaining about me turning that into a Tetris, but once again, not my game, not my cabinet, not my decision. I just do what people want me to do. This cabinet was a Tetris to begin with it when he got it, but it had a bootleg board in it, so it didn't save high scores. But I guess he has an original board, so it'll save high scores. And it's just a game that he really wants, and he likes it in this style cabinet. He likes it in either this style or a Defender cabinet, so that's what we're doing, is we're gonna turn it into a Tetris. We're gonna put vinyl side art on it. We're not putting stenciling or anything like that on that one. It's going to be a Tetris. It's going to have full side vinyl artwork and around the screen and stuff like that. So like I said, I'm sure people are going to be complaining about it, but you got to keep in mind, I have no circuit boards for it to be a Stargate, no power supplies, no wiring harness, nothing. So for you to source all those parts and turn this into a Stargate, you'd be better off just buying one already done. You know what I mean? But this one right here is mine. We're going to turn this back into an original Stargate. We are going to paint it, and we are going to paint it with stencils. So we're going to paint the cabinet red on the sides, black on the front, black on the back and top. And then the sides are going to get the Stargate stencil kit. So you'll get to see me do one as an original Stargate and then one converted into a Tetris. Now obviously on mine, I need to get rid of this light bulb here, and we're going to put the original light in there. I hope. I think I have the parts to put all the original one in. If not, it'll be some sort of a fluorescent light fixture. But I'm hoping that I have the original stuff to do it, but we'll have to see. So, all right, let's get back onto this pole position here. But yes, there will be a video coming out this weekend of me starting the body work on those Stargate cabinets. So I sanded this down real good. And if you look, just wipe the dust off here. You can see that is the spot that I had put that glue in, where I had to glue this completely back on. It had broke through the face a little bit, so we sanded that down. We're going to put a little filler on all 4 spots, because everywhere that there's one of these has a little bit of a divot. So we're just going to mix up a little of that, glazing putty, the dolphin glaze. And we're going to put it on these 4 spots. And then once it dries, we'll sand it. We might have to do a second coat. But after that, I'm going to use the black Krylon matte finish paint, and we're going to paint it. I'm not going to use a primer because it's an all-in-one paint and primer. I probably will have to put 4 or 5 coats of paint onto it to get it to look right, because the first coat or 2 is going to soak into the body filler areas, and it's going to leave it duller looking than the rest of the piece. So we're just going to have to do several coats, but we will get it to all match, and it'll look good. But my goal is to try to finish up this pole position this weekend between today and tomorrow. And I also going to be putting a video up on my other channel. I'm going to be block sanding and reprimering the bed of a pickup truck that I'm working on. So I'm going to do that tomorrow, because tomorrow is supposed to be in the 50s, and I need to do it outside because I still have this Impala in here, and I have a bunch of other parts in here I don't want to get all filled with dust and dirt. This spot right here is where we ground it down with the my little deburring tool. And the reason why I did that is to give it a thicker filler over that area to make sure it really holds. But I did this on mine, and that was, like I said, 5-6 years ago, and it worked out really well. So I can tell that I'll more than likely need a second coat on here, but that's okay. Okay, well, we're gonna let this sit. Let me get this cleaned up, and then we will start, probably start putting maybe we'll put the cage in the cabinet and then start putting the wiring on. Okay, before I get this cage put back into the pole position, I'm gonna take it outside with my blowgun here and blow off this cage and then wipe it down with some window cleaner. I'm not going to show this process. It's pretty self-explanatory. But if you look here on the top of this cage, look at all that dust built into every hole almost. So that's definitely restricting airflow. So we want to get that all cleaned out of there, because that's just gonna make the boards even hotter than they need to be. My blowgun here, I've been putting new ends on them, these new brass ends. I was using these high flow aluminum fittings from from Home Depot, and these things suck. Don't buy these aluminum high flow fittings. You can use them for the spray booth and stuff like that, for your spray guns, but I would not recommend them for regular use. As you can see, this one's bent. I dropped my blowgun on the ground, bent the end of it, and the aluminum wears out so fast that it just starts leaking air. So don't recommend those things. So all right, I'm gonna go get this blown off, get it wiped down, and then we'll get the cage back in there. I don't remember if it just slides in there or if it screws in too, but we'll figure that out here in a few. Okay, let's get this slid into those cleats. And there is a screw hole right here. Only one on the top. I don't know if there was ever more or not. I noticed that there's something that was here. Oh, that's where the cardboard piece goes. We do need to make a new cardboard piece. That the fan goes right here, and then the cardboard piece, that's probably where the fan mounts. The cardboard piece kind of tunnels it into the top holes of this cage and gives it air inside of there. So that's why those are all filled up with dust, was from that fan sucking in all the dust from the air into the cabinet. Now, I don't have a metal cage on mine. I couldn't find one, so I never put a metal cage on mine. So my circuit boards are sitting outside of the cage, and I put a fan right here, but I put my fan blowing outwards, so it's actually taking the heat and sucking it off out of the cabinet. And I think that works pretty good. I haven't had any issues with it. So I need to put a screw right here. I don't remember what screw it was I used, because I only have like 4 screws in this bucket. Oh, you know what? They're over there. Okay, this is it right here. Okay, let me grab my drill. All right, and then obviously one power supply goes here and the other one goes on the back wall here. That sense mod, if I remember correctly, don't quote me on this, I'm gonna read up on it here shortly, but I thought you take the sense wire and I think one goes to 5 volts and one goes to ground, but I'm not positive and I don't want to say that and be wrong, so I have to look it up. Now I want to get this power brick in the bottom here, lining up the holes. It's funny how many of these just went in crooked when they put them in. Grab our screws here. Power brick looks good in there. I think poster board will probably work to make this. I'll have to see. I have some in the house. Because I do have a piece of that expensive stuff that I use to make the shroud for around the monitor. I'd rather not waste a whole sheet for one of those. So I might use a little bit thinner material for that. I do have the original one that I'm going to use as a template. I did save the original shroud that came out of this game so that I have a future template if I need it, and I'll also save this one for future. Somebody had asked me if I had saved it or took measurements of it or anything like that, and yes, I did save it, so they can always be, more can always be made at that point. Okay, so that's in, that's bolted in down there. Next is routing the wiring harness, so we might as well get that in the cabinet. And I know it goes this way. This is my monitor plug that I need to fix. Somebody had kind of messed with the wiring. Goes this way. Okay, this goes to, I believe, the one power supply right here. Yep. Sounds like the guy's here for his Pac-Man and his pinball, so I'm going to pause this while I get that loaded up. Okay, games are loaded up and gone. My buddy brought me a cage for Nintendo, which is cool because I needed one of these. So that's pretty cool. Let's get to putting these this wiring harness back in here. I put one screw in there just to kind of hold it up off the ground. So basically, we need to run it up this way. These two here, this is our monitor plug, this is our monitor ground. This plug right here goes up to our marquee. This is our plug for speakers, marquee light. Speaker and marquee light. And I think I'm gonna have to, yeah, I'll have to take the, oh wait, the plug's there. Cool. I can just reach up there and plug this in. I don't have to take the marquee back apart. Unless for some reason the light doesn't work, but I put a new light bulb and everything in it, so it should be good. And I put a new starter in it. So this is going up there. We can put another screw right here. Kind of want to show you how this routes in the cabinet in case anybody has has one of these that possibly the wiring harness is not in and needs to kind of know how it gets routed. Because I've definitely had games that I've converted back to original and I never really knew how the wiring harness was routed in the cabinet. Now luckily on this one, I took this harness out, plus I've already done mine, so I got a pretty good idea of how it goes for the most part. I mean, if I get obviously stuck at some point, I can always go look at mine. So here's one more loop right here, and there's one more hole up here that this goes to. Okay, and then I gotta plug that in up there, but I'll show it to you so you can kind of see. Use my drill light. So that just goes up there, and then that plugs in on that other plug that I have coming out of there. And then we're gonna take this next one here, and there's a hole right here. So this one goes in right there. We'll just keep working our way down. And once I figure out this monitor, what's going on here with these wires spliced together, I think what they did was, this is a different plug end, obviously. Yeah, they switched plug ends because this one fits in that Cortec monitor that I rebuilt that chassis on. So we'll go in there and we'll heat shrink tube these back together. These four I know are good because this is our red, green, blue. So we have yellow and red here. So that's our red. This one's green and this is blue. This is ground. So I know we can for sure connect these together permanently. This was the issue here. This is a sync wire. I don't remember if this purple was on the purple, if the purple was on the orange. I know it was on one of the two and I'm not sure which one it was. But when I took the wiring harness out of the cabinet, clearly this fell off of whichever one. It kind of looks like it was purple to purple, but it makes me wonder why was the orange stripped, or maybe somebody tried the orange first, I'm not sure. So we're just gonna use the crimpers, the crimp connectors, and we're going to use the connectors that have the shrink tube on it already installed onto the crimp connection. Okay, these are our ground wires. The purple the ground, the yellow is the positive. These go on the other capacitor that goes in the bottom of the cabinet. If you guys remember that this game has two capacitors, one on the power brick and one that gets mounted to the plywood floor next to it. Just trying to figure out where this goes. Goes on the bottom. Okay. This is the one plug in here that was messed up. Plug that back in. The plug itself is good. What happened is the plastic tabs that hold it into the power brick are broken off on it. But other than that, it's fine. Make sure that they're labeled. All right. Yeah, I might have to look that part up. I think it goes this way over to there. A couple of these I might have to look into. This is our plug right here. This goes to the controls that go into the back of the coin, the top of the coin door box right here. So this plugs in here. This wiring is a little bit of a pain on these. This goes to our power brick. This is our ground wire that goes to one of those two lugs on the power brick. Now this goes to the top of the power brick because there's a side port that has this same plug, which is the plug that sends power into the power brick from the wall. I gotta go grab a socket so we can put this nut back on. I should have a light here so you guys can see a little bit better. Actually, it's not too bad. So this is the ground wire right here, and it goes on one of these two lugs. You can put it on this one or that one. It doesn't really matter. I'm putting it on this one because underneath side of the power brick, that's where the wire is attached to, is this stud that was closest to this fuse holder right here. So let me go grab a socket for this. Okay, I actually grabbed a nut driver. I bought these cheap ones at Harbor Freight, and I didn't realize when I bought them, there's no hole in the center of it. So it only lets you go down to here. The better ones have a hole up the shaft here so that your stud or your bolt can go into the shaft, but we'll see if this is long enough. If not, I'll have to get a socket. It is long enough. We got it. Okay. Now, actually, these also need to go to that. So it'll definitely be long enough once I put all these grounds on. And actually, no, those don't go to that. I'm gonna have to look this part up. And I have a ground wire here, which clearly slipped out of here. So I have to look and see, was it connected into this one or that one? I think this is, yep, this goes to the pedal assembly. Okay, so this one is easy to determine, I think. White and green, skip a spot, black and white, red. Okay, so our ground wire goes right here. Goes into the last terminal there. I'm trying to remember where these ground wires went. That I'm a little lost on. I'm gonna have to look that up, because that I definitely don't remember. But that's gotta go over here. I try to get these things as straight as I can. Clean them up the best I can. Gotta kind of plug some stuff in. Okay, this is going to our control panel. This is going to the steering wheel and the shifter, I believe, if I'm correct. Or is it the coin door? Maybe the coin door. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little searching around and figure this out, and then I'll come back. I'll probably get some of this routed, and then I'll show you how it routes, because it's gonna take me a few minutes to, might have to go in the house and look at mine and stuff like that. But yes, this is definitely for the gas pedal. And those terminals are small. Maybe it will reach over to the power brick. All right, I'll figure it out. I'll be back. Okay, this is where I'm at so far here. The power brick I had in backwards, so I had to spin it around this way. I have my capacitor, my other capacitor hooked up here. There's my wires going to my gas pedal. Wires going up towards the control panel. There's this kind of hanging here right now. I have to get those put in place. I have my wires for my power supply here and down here. My plugs for all that. This is a ground wire that goes to the cage. There was a clip on here that's supposed to slide onto there. I don't have that clip, so we're gonna have to make something work for that, which I'll probably just use a put a ring terminal on there. We'll just put a nut and bolt through here, because I'm not putting that card on the outside here. We're gonna plug directly into the boards. I think this maybe had a filter card at one point on the boards. I'm not positive for that. So let's splice together these couple monitor wires that we can right now. So what I'm going to use are we're only going to do 4 of the 5 because I'm not sure on the sync wire yet. Do that one afterwards. We're going to use these crimp connectors with these shrink-on tubes. So we're just going to take one at a time. Soldering, you can also solder these. Obviously, soldering in a lot of cases is better, but these work really well too. And this really isn't power or anything like that, so I'm not concerned about it. As long as you get it in there and you get a really good crimp on it, it is just fine. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll solder these, twist them together, solder them, and then shrink tube them. but I've had really good luck with these connectors as well. So we're just gonna do one at a time. Then you see how this is all loose around the wire. It's heated up and try not to burn my thumb. Takes a couple seconds for this heat gun to warm up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to the other 3 wires. Okay, I've got these 4 all crimped and heat shrinked. I'll do the 5th one once we get the monitor in there. After that, I'll probably take some zip ties and tie this up, make it look a little neater. So that's ready for now. Let's put a ring terminal on this ground wire. And then I'll have to find a nut and bolt little one that we can use. For this cage ground, so we can get that on. I like these crimp connections with these shrink tubes. They're pretty dang nice. Okay, let me go see what I have for a nut and bolt. All right, I got this little machine screw with a nut. Okay, that is in. We gotta put the speaker in. We can do that next. What I'm doing on this video is just gonna go ahead and probably get the wiring harness done, speaker in, get it ready for the next step, which is gonna be, I need to fix the circuit board. Those wires, I gotta cut a couple of them and change them up a little bit. We need to do that modification on the power supplies for the sync. Where was that? I forget what it was, but we'll look it up. I'll get those done. So basically in the next video, I want to get the circuit board and the 2 power supplies ready to go in, and I want to test voltages, plug the board in, get the monitor plugged in, see what we got. So let me grab the speaker. We'll put that in next. Okay, I cleaned up the speaker the best I could. Got it pretty clean. This just gets screwed in. I'm gonna have to make some new holes. That particle board where the speaker was screwed in, the screw holes are a little stripped out, so I'm just gonna move it a tiny bit, a little bit, make a new hole, because I don't want the speaker to be loose. figure out the wires for the speaker. I think they're the white and black ones, which they're too short, so I'll have to deal with that. This is our power wire, which is actually in good shape. I need to take this end off and redo it because I don't like those hanging out like that. I'm going to wipe down this wiring harness real quick and this fan and get this put in, because this fan goes right over here against there, and then it actually goes this way so that this metal grates on the outside, and then we got to come down with it. Got to plug in, and then we have our switch here, which also has to get plugged in, which I believe, I'm pretty positive this gets plugged into the power brick, and this one has 1 female and 4 male connectors for the power brick. So we're going to look down there and see. I'm trying to remember how this plugs in. Yep, okay, it goes into J2. Connector J2 is where this power switch plugs into. But I'm going to wipe this down real quick. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so this goes in from the back here, and it screws in. Now, also with this power switch, they put this cover over top of it. And what that does is keeps those bare terminals from getting touched or something landing on them or anything like that. I have some window cleaner on these towels. Let's screw this on. Oh, you know what? I need to go and get wing nuts for the control panel. I only have one, so I'm going to buy all new ones. But we need new wing nuts for the control panel to hold that in. So I'm going to put that in my pocket so I don't forget. And that'll be on our last video when we hopefully power this thing up and it works. Now, when it comes to bolt screwing in the power supplies, I'm going to have to get some screws because there were a few screws missing here and there on this cabinet. And the power supplies were not screwed in, they were just laying in there. And I'm also missing a screw for this one wire right here too, because this wire goes to there, just like that. And then we have our power wire. Actually, it probably goes back to the next one. But we can put this power wire in. Wipe it off. I'm going to have to grab some screws out of the back room. So this power wire slides in here. And it doesn't, they didn't have a screw in it, because a lot of times when you go to transport the game, you just lift this up and then you can throw the whole cord into the cabinet itself. And this plugs into the side connector here on the power brick. Okay, so then this one goes here, and then this wire goes to there. So let me go grab a couple screws for that. Okay, actually, Okay, that's in. So now we have a power wire. So I need to clean the fan up, and then we can plug this in. And this plugs in to the top of the power brick. Get this fan mounted. I wiped the wires as best as I can get them. These wires are pretty filthy. And this plugs in, this comes down here. Trying to route it as neatly as possible. Okay. Grab a couple more screws for that. All right, I think we have all the wiring in except for the coin door. So it's looking pretty good. Like I said, I want to make a cardboard tunnel for the fan. You got to get the speaker wires extended because those are too short. Trying to think if there's anything else. And then just got to work on the boards. So I think we're going to end this video here. Starting to get this together. I don't want to make the videos too long. Let's do 2 more videos. We'll do one more of getting the shroud made for the fan, and then we'll do another video. So we'll do that shroud and probably hook up the coin door and stuff like that and get all that done and get the speaker hooked up down here. I'm going to plug that upper one in when I turn the camera off because it's way up there and you're really not going to be able to see it. It's just a plug. So, all right, let's end this one here. We'll do 2 more videos, and then fingers crossed this restoration should be complete. So if you guys are liking what you're seeing, please like, subscribe, share, hit the thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Any questions or comments, feel free to ask. Other than that, I will see you guys later.